What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. Merry Christmas Eve to you all. I'm Love Coach Scott Thomas, and welcome to the Awakening World. And it's Christmas Eve, a very, very sacred time. We're kind of in that period of the solstice. And we're going to learn a lot today about kind of the origins of Christmas as we know it. And I'm appreciating Neil Gar, who did a full 2-hour program on it today. You're going to get the Global Peace Tribe condensed version. And we also have a really beautiful meditation, especially created for us by Uta and Natalie from Europe. We're going to celebrate Eden Amador's birthday. We're going to chat with all of you. We're going to really interact more with our audience tonight. So it's going to be a fun show. And welcome to everybody watching on Facebook and YouTube. And one of the great things about the Awakening World is that we have my co-pilot, our house musical artist, the one and only Omashar, opening and closing tonight's festivities. Take it away, brother.
Yes, and happy holy days to everybody. Whatever your tradition may be, we are all one with each other in the heart. And here's a Christmas version of a song that I've sung several times across the years, but this is the Christmas version, and so let's check it out. Christmas is here, the time for love, the warmth of friends, starlight above. Open my heart, allow me to see the truth of life, the Christ in me. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. Holy, 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 we are whole. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. The spirit of love, the gift of grace, our open hearts, the sacred space. Open my mind,
Allow me to see that I am whole and you live in me. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. The light is here, illuminate the star within, emancipate joy and life, the radiant earth, our light returns, the sacred birth. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. Spirit divine, come to me, feeling love, healing me. Open my heart, allow me to see the beauty and love surrounding me. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. Last one. Christmas is here, the time for love, the warmth of friends, starlight above. Open my mind, allow me to see the truth of life, the Christ in me. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole.
Let's send some holy, holy, holy love and appreciation to our beautiful brother, Omar Shar.
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect song, perfect for us to play. Thank you. Well, I didn't know how many people we would have tonight, because of course it is Christmas Eve and a lot of people have plans. So it's beautiful to see that about 2/3 of our normal audience. Usually we get about 50 on Wednesdays. We get about 75 on Saturdays. So it's good to see all of you. I am going to read the comments you've put in and call upon some of you to share, but we only have a little bit of time that Neil Gar is with us. And some of you might have caught it earlier today. Neil did his annual program that he does all about the history of how it went from a pagan set of worshiping and festivals and events into the Christmas that we know today. And it was a beautiful 2-hour program. And as I was watching, I was going, oh my God, this is like, I definitely want for my audience to know about it. So Neil, here's what I've done.
Yeah.
What I'd love for you to do is to give us about a 10-minute version that
Sure.
takes us up to this. I know then you need to go be with your family, and I'll take over talking about, taking it over from, kind of the Romans become Christian and
Yeah.
what happened after that. But maybe you
Okay.
could share with us, like in about 10 minutes or so, kind of up to the
Yes.
point.
That was the journey from the solstice to monotheism and the ancient Israelites up until um, the Christianization of Rome, I
Right,
believe, right?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do it. So hello everybody, good to be here with you. Thank you, Scott, for asking me to come on, brother. I
Oh,
really
thank you
appreciate
for
it.
spending your Christmas Eve a little bit
Oh,
with
for
us,
sure. Oh, I mean, this
and
is
for
my
all the
joy. This is
research
my
you've done,
passion
man.
right here. And
Yeah.
this is what I get so excited sharing this. So here we go, guys. So the presentation I did today, every year, I've done it for 6 years now. It changes a little, but in the last 2 years, I've decided just to do more research. Whereas before, it was kind of like presentation I've done, I just pull it off the shelf and go ahead and do it. And it's interesting to know just how our understanding of history evolves. So many different angles. And so what I'm going to share with you is we're going to start out by talking about the gods of the solstice because that was a part of it, and we're going to quickly get into speaking about how monotheism even came about, right? So, as you guys know, December 21st was the solstice. It's actually a 3 day period that ends today. So, right now, this is the last day that ends. And what actually occurs during this time is that the sun is at its lowest ebb in the northern hemisphere, and it appears to be in the same position every single day without movement. So it goes down, down, down until it gets to the lowest ebb, and now we have the 3 days of darkness, the darkest days of year. And what the solstice truly represents is a resurrection of the light, or you could even put it in the terms of the light having triumph, being victorious over the darkness. After the sun seemingly to our ancient ancestors seemed like it was dying, going lower and lower and lower every single year, every single day, it then stops. And then, right when it's at its lowest point and the days of darkness are at its greatest, all of a sudden the light resurrects, right? So that's the connection to the solstice. That's also the connection to the resurrection, which is interesting to note how the resurrection actually is celebrated in March and how Yeshua's birthday is celebrated in December, even though it looks like Yeshua was probably born in March and the resurrection truly is represented now. It's that distortion, or it's the inversion, if you will. Some of the gods of the solstice I'm going to mention. We have Saturn. These are all gods that were celebrated during this time. Saturn from Saturnalia, Sol Invictus, Mithra. We have Alcylon from Greece. We have Amaterasu in Japan, Baldur in the Norse gods, Demeter for Greeks, Horus for the Egyptians. We have Krampus, who is the son of Hel, the lord of the underworld. And all these beings had a connection to the sun. So at this time, when we would be observing the sun, the deities and the gods, whether they were real or mythical or both, were really associated with this time of year and were given reverence to them. So it was truly a sun worshiping time of year, right? From the sun worshiping cults. There were ancient religions that were, before monotheism, you see ancient religions such as the Wiccan religion, the Celtic religions, Sumerian, you can't even call them religion, Sumerian ways of life, the Inca, the Vedic Hindu, the Aztec, the ancient Romans, the Canaanites. They had a pantheon of gods, and these gods were all represented by different celestial bodies, right? When we have the Celtic fates of the moon cults. We have the Incans that had the sun religions. We have the Canaanites that had the Venus religions. And then we have people like the Romans, even though they had Saturnalia and they had a Saturn worshiping religion, they also had Venus, they also had a sun god, right? So we see all these different ancient cultures having reverence and I guess in some way worshiping multiple celestial bodies, but then something occurred that shifted this into becoming monotheistic and a selection of one. And the quote that I shared in my presentation, I'll share with you, is now we're getting into that story of how that happened. The quote is from Yahweh, and it goes, "You shall have no other gods before me," in the Old Testament, right? This was a smoking gun for me when I first heard this back in 2001, 2002, right when I was getting into all of this awareness that we now share. You shall have no other gods before me. Why is God telling us to have no other gods before him if there is no other gods but one God? And if you look at the original translation of this, the actual translation is, "You shall have no other powerful ones before me." This was Yahweh consolidating all gods into the one God, not in a benevolent way, right? Because yes, there's one celestial force, one celestial energy. We're talking about deities, maybe that were even real and physical, that interacted with Earth. And when Yahweh had said that, he was in essence taking on the different stories from the different gods and incorporating into his own faith. So what occurred was the shift from polytheistic to monotheistic occurred around 700 BCE. And a lot of people don't know this, but the ancient Israelites, from a quick Google search, you can find out that the ancient Israelites pre 700 BCE were a polytheistic culture. Archaeology and ancient Hebrew texts all shows this information. And we even have the information in the text about who they worshipped. Worshipped Yahweh, right? We all know Yahweh. El, the high creator god, Asherah, the Palladian goddess, the fertility mother goddess, Baal, that was actually an adoption of a Greek god, that was also a Canaanite god of the storm and agriculture. We have Astarte, which was the goddess of love, war, sexuality, and that's not all. We have Shemash, we have Malesh, we have Reshpesh, we have Anat, we have Kus, and more. That right there is 10 gods that were worshipped by the ancient Israelites, 700 BCE. So the question really it goes into why did what happened to the rest of the gods? How did we get to the part where ancient Judaism ended up becoming monotheistic, then laying the foundation for Christianity to come out in a world where the Romans still maintain polytheism? And the date 722 BCE. What occurred was there was a conquest. The Assyrians had a huge empire through the Middle East, through Asia Minor, all the way up into North India, bordering Kashmir. The Assyrians went into modern day Palestine slash Israel, and they basically conquered. However, there were 12 tribes of Israel still in Palestine at that time, and 11 of those tribes were actually at war with one of those tribes. That one tribe that was at war with the other 11 tribes hired the Assyrians to be mercenaries to go and actually fight the war against those 11 tribes for them. But the Assyrians betrayed them. The Assyrians went in and decided to take over the whole of modern Israel, or ancient Israel. And when they did that, they took that tribe that hired them and they relocated them to the other side of the Assyrian Empire, which was modern day Kashmir area, ancient Kashmir, where Kashmir is today. And this tribe of Israel just so happened to be the tribe that Mary and Joseph was a part of. So Mary and Joseph they were actually born in Kashmir from ancient texts in India. Kira Windwriter created a really great book about this, and they were born there, but it was an Israeli. One of the tribes of Israel were from there, and when Yeshua was going to be born, they left from Kashmir through the Silk Road, making their way to Palestine to Bethlehem to give birth. But let's get back to the story, okay? So 722 BCE, the Assyrian conquest. And then about 10 years later, in 715 to 686 BCE, there was a reform that occurred called the Hezekiah reforms. And this was a centralization of worship in Jerusalem and the removal of pagan shrines. At this point, all over Israel, there were shrines to ancient contact areas, places where the beings were visited. Just like in India, for example, Vaishno Devi and other places, there's literally markings all over India of where Shiva landed, where this god came, where this god did this, where Vishnu came here and did that. That was the same all over Israel, and the shrines kept being removed. Then that continued until 640 BCE, where Josiah, the king Josiah, there was a monotheistic revolution. Not only did all those shrines go, but all of the it was completely outlawed to worship any of these gods anymore. So the shrines had been gone about a few decades before, and now Josiah in 640 BCE to 609 BCE made it illegal to worship any other God except for Yahweh. But the crazy thing is that all these stories still existed. The text had these stories, the Old Testament had these stories, all this information was around. And what they did was Josiah rewrote all the books. And instead of Asherah, the benevolent god from the Pleiades, instead of Baal doing this, every single story, the name was rewritten Yahweh. Yahweh inherited all the stories of all the gods. And the Israelis, they forcibly abandoned paganism, as I just shared at this time. They developed a strict monotheistic identity and they censored or erased all their past. It was like a complete rewriting of history, which we've seen so many times, even in the last few hundred years. And they became resistant to pagan symbolism and seasonal festivals. They became resistant to it. So now we go to the ending of my part here. Fast forward 700 years, the beginning of the Roman Empire. 600 years or so, the Israelites have dropped and resisted their pagan past and history. Most of them don't even know it even existed. They don't have the books out there. They're only being taught this monotheistic way. Now they're being introduced to the Romans. And the Romans, they obviously continued their pagan ways, but in some ways they went down a hedonistic, lustful kind of route rather than the nature spirits and the connection and the spiritual energy. So when the Israelites connected with the Romans and they witnessed these pagan ways, they had no connection to the ancient past, and it immediately created disgust in them. They remained deeply pagan. The Romans remained deeply pagan throughout the rise of Christianity. Even when Christianity became the part of Rome, they still remained deeply connected to the pagan roots. And their culture naturally merged with the Christian symbolism. So the Romans absorbed the pagan traditions into Christianity, and the Israelites rejected pagan traditions as forbidden. And that leads us up to the Romans becoming Christian.
I'm so grateful for your sharing about this. And there was a story that you told today that made quite an impression. Talk about how hedonistic the Romans were. That one of the events that they would have once a year was switching roles with the slaves
Yeah.
and letting the slaves have one day to do whatever they wanted to do to their masters.
Yeah.
That must have been a
That's
very
crazy.
interesting day.
Yeah, and that's Saturnalia. That's the connection to Saturn, the connection to why Satan came out of that, which was from the hedonistic ways. Also the Santa connection right there. And yeah, it's very interesting because it was representing a time of equality, but it was really a time for the slaves for reinforcement of slavery. So that the slaves had a few days to blow off the steam and take out all the anger and frustration on society. And then right when it was over, they go back to business as usual.
A couple questions for you. Dr. Laura's asking, how do we know that Mary and Joseph were born in Kashmir?
Yeah.
And Mushar is asking, so were the Israelites um, the now current Jewish people?
Okay, so the first question, if you get the book Isa, Son of the Sun, and then that's Kiara Winwriter's book, it's on Amazon. And if you look at the back, it has the glossary of all the text where it comes from. And the glossary consists of channeled information and ancient texts from India. So this one comes from a text from around 700 AD from ancient India that tracked Yeshua's lineage. So this one isn't actually just from channeled information. It actually is from ancient texts about 1300 years ago. I forget the name of the text, but you can get that book or you can look up the glossary online and you can find out there. Excuse me. All right, and then the next question.
The
This is
Israelites, yeah.
this is a loaded question, to be quite honest. Were the Israelites now the Jewish people? In theory, yes, but the bloodlines aren't the same anymore. There were the Zionists, there were the ones that converted, there were the atheist Jews that also converted by name but never actually followed any of the spiritual rituals. So the modern day Jewish people, I don't know if it's really even possible to find out what the lineage is based on bloodlines. I don't even know if that really matters. And some people even say that the Ethiopian Christians, they were actually one of the tribes of Israel, and they maintain more of the bloodline from there. Now, like the Jewish government, I would think they would go ahead and say yes, they are the descendants of those people. But if you really look back at our like just our history and what happened with the conversions that occurred afterwards, I don't know if you can really track anybody based on if they were an original Israelite.
Right. A couple things I wanted to riff on, and I know you need to go back to your family in a moment, but you had mentioned in today's program just the difference between the Old Testament energy, which is very much about Yahweh, or you could also call him Jehovah, who's this angry God
Mhm.
who's like punishing all over the place, and and then the New Testament, which brings in more of the influence of Yeshua,
Yeah,
Jesus, which is much more loving, much more towards compassion, and so it is really interesting. And then to recognize that for the majority of Jews, they don't relate to the New Testament.
mhm,
They're just in the Old Testament, that kind of angry Jehovah God.
yeah,
Um, and the other thing I wanted to mention is my understanding is that when Christianity was forming, there were two sects. There was you said the Ethiopian sect, also known as the Essenes, who totally believed that Yeshua was here he was a model for us to be.
yeah,
And the Essenes were primarily vegetarian, they were, or pescatarian. And they're very peaceful, they were very loving, and they were very meditative. But then the other sect that grew out of Rome were converted Romans who
yeah,
had that romantic conquer the world sense. And at a certain point, the Romans who had become Christians basically wiped out the Essenes and established the Catholic Church with that same romantic take over the world mentality, which has led to, the colonialism, that took place all around the world.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. It's just such an interesting story on just to see what actually occurred in the past to create who we are now. And I feel we give ourselves more of a connection to this time of year where we realize all the different stories that have all combined to create this beautiful time, where we all come together, people's spirits are lifted up. And as I shared in the presentation, like, wow, like some of these stories are from like 4000 BCE,
Yeah.
and this still like around and merged into 100 other stories, right? And it's just amazing just to see what that history is and to know that even a part of it still exists.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, well, thank you very, very much
You're
for
welcome.
doing this. And you and I have a show together in about 10 days on
Can't wait.
Saturday night, January 3rd. And do you want to share a little bit about the theme of that show and who you've got lined up?
Yeah, I don't know if we came up with a theme per se, but we have. Let's see who we got here. Let's pull it up real quick.
Um,
Go
I
to my
th-
Scott tab. All right,
uh,
we have Geraldine Orozco. I think she's been on your show a few times,
we
right?
love Geraldine. She's awesome.
Yeah, I would say she's like an esoteric hybrid geneticist. Like um she brings in every aspect really, but I love her science part as well. She really can explain something very intellectually, but also embody the heart. Really great embodiment of masculine feminine attributes. We have Lily Starcy Nova, who technically is new on the scene. She kind of rose in awareness in during COVID, but she's becoming like a viral sensation the last year, and she is just tapped into so many different ET races. She's in relay communication with the Lyrans, so she's an amazing soul. I just did a YouTube video with her where we dove deep into what the nature of time is. How can there be a beginning if there is no beginning in time? Those kind of deep questions. We have King Cash, who's he actually is done very well on TikTok, has over 1 million people on TikTok, and because of how
Oh,
incredible his info is. And King Cash is, I don't think anybody's astral traveled as more than he has. And what he really became well known for, and the reason why he became viral, is all these videos about all the planets and ETs that he's met through his astral traveling. So,
wow.
yeah. So, and he's just you're gonna see his soul and the way he talks and communicates. He's just like embodied such beauty. So he'll be there as well. The last speaker can't make it, so we got to switch it out to someone else. But I'm thinking, like, I mean, we can go any route, Scott, but there's definitely a lot of ET stuff there. But as you know, like, the ET connection is always about the inner work as well. So it always comes into, like, what do we do to be able to embody that?
The topic that I had in my notes was the evolution of consciousness that's underway.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yep,
Well,
love it.
thank you so much, Neil. I'm going to actually show a few more of the slides and share a little
Okay.
bit of the other part of your presentation. And God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
You
merry
too.
and a happy. And I look forward to our next collaboration in about 10
You
days.
too, brother. Appreciate you. See you, everybody.
Aloha.
Bye.
I am going to read a couple comments. Ayana writes, so Neil, if you still hear this, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciated your recounting of key figures, events related to the Christian tradition. Here's a fun fact from Carol Craig. The closest genetic relatives to ancient Israelites are modern Palestinians, Druze, and Bedouins, as well as other Middle Eastern Jewish groups like Iraqi, Iranian, Syrian Jews. This reflects a shared ancestry from the ancient Canaanite populations in the Levant. While Ashkenazi Jews have significant European admixture, Middle Eastern Jews, Palestinians, and other local Levantine groups maintain strong genetic continuity with the Iron Age inhabitants of the region, sharing deep roots in the same land. So thank you very, very much, Carol, for putting that in there. Thank you. I'm going to bring up, is this where I have it? No, it's a different spot. Some of the other slides that he had created. And I'm going to just kind of walk us through some of it because it really is quite fascinating. Let me make this big. There we go. All right. So the Romans become Christians, right? And from paganism to Christianity, the pagan traditions and stories created the foundation of Christmas as we know it. What happened was the Christians took the pagan things because they wanted to convert everybody. So they realized the best way to convert people is to take their already existing holidays, holy days, and Christianize them, which is very much what happened. Old gods with new meanings. Old festivals became Christianized. Old symbols were repurposed. Now, the winter solstice was a very important, I love that picture of Santa Claus with the Roman guy. Winter solstice was very, very big. So that's why they really made that Christmas time. And of course, we all know that Jesus was most likely born in the spring because it was in the springtime that people had to come to Bethlehem to report themselves for tax purposes. And so Christianity, needing acceptance, took on a lot of the other considerations, a lot of the previous elements of the Roman holidays, feasts, gift giving, candle rituals, evergreen decorations, etc. One thing that I didn't know until I heard his program today is that around the 1600s, Christians were very pious. It was a very pious time. They actually banned Christmas. They didn't want to give gifts. They didn't want to celebrate people's birthdays. They were back in the old kind of, it's an angry God and we have to be very, very humble and pure to the point of, really, and look at this old sign, offenders fined for celebrating Christmas. So that's something. And that kind of leads to the time of the Puritans. Now, this was interesting. The origin of mistletoe. A Norse god honored and was asked all of nature to promise not to harm him. But I'm sorry, Baldur was a Norse god. His mother, honoring and loving her son, asked all of nature to promise not to harm him. But in her haste, she overlooked the mistletoe plant. So Loki, the resident trickster, you might know Loki from the Marvel Cinema Universe, takes advantage of the opportunity and fools them, making a spear out of mistletoe. Baldur was later restored to life. So that's where mistletoe comes in. Now, this is really interesting. Remember, the Romans, they were hedonistic. They liked to get high. They liked to drink. They liked to take hallucinogenics. So the use and purpose for the Christmas tree dates back to the time of the shamans and the mystic pagan Europe before the conquest of Rome. During the solstice, shamans would collect Amanita muscaria mushrooms on December 21st, leave them to dry on the branches of Christmas trees. And let's go a little bit further here. And so mushrooms, and if you take a look, he mentioned about the Smurfs. And what's kind of interesting is the Smurfs, they all live in this little mushroom house, right? The houses look like mushrooms, and they pick mushrooms. And in many ways, Santa Claus is a combination of different elements, including giving out mushrooms, right? So that's kind of interesting. Tree of Life and Christ consciousness. Again, originally the Christmas tree was supposed to represent, and the lights were supposed to represent our different chakras. There's a whole thing that he went into that was around that.
Getting pissed came from.
Oh, get this one. I'm glad I happened to overhear that. The term getting pissed, which is kind of British for getting drunk. Back in the day, the shamans would drink deer urine along with mushrooms, and the high of the fungi got them high. So the shaman and other members of the tribe would drink the snow with the deer's urine. And this is the origin of the phrase getting pissed. It originally was implying drinking urine from an animal or from a person who had consumed hallucinogenic mushrooms. Rudolph began as a deer that ingested mushrooms, which is what gave him the red nose. He was also a flying reindeer. Isn't it amazing how it all has evolved into, our current, what we know?
Is the deepest part of all of the presentation.
What I'll do is I'm going to go in and let him play this part because it's really interesting.
You need not look any further than Santa Claus to really go deep into the connection to paganism. Santa, the original Santa, was the shaman collecting the mushrooms. The wizard, Merlin's hat, shaman hat. Mushrooms were the ornaments and the gifts spread to the village. The reindeers were the way of transportation for the mushrooms in his big sack. The original Santa was commonly depicted as more of a gnome-like little man, often skinny and a little scary. But wait, there is more. Yes, Stephanie's saying that Amanita loses some of their poison when ingested by animals. It's not as toxic. I think I had a slide on that. I took a slide out, but yes, that is so true. So the dark helpers of winter. Before Santa Claus became a gift giver, we know and we love. Winter folklore across Europe featured dark companion spirits who judged behavior, enforced moral order, and initiated children into societal values. This was a time of great initiation. And we have to talk about some of the precursors of Santa, who are known as the dark helpers of winter. Let me make this slide a little bigger for you guys. If you can see, hopefully you can see that better. We have Krampus, Alpine regions, Austria, Bavaria, Balsnickel, Germanic, Pennsylvania Dutch, Hans Trapp, Alsace, France, Germany, Perchta, Frau Holy, Alpine, and also Germanic regions. And this was their role. This was their role. Punish excess laziness and moral imbalance. Reward discipline and integrity. Appear during the darkest days of the year, 3 days of darkness. Function as initiatory archetypes, not villains. They were not villains. The dark helpers of winters would walk with the light bringer. This is before Christianity, before Jesus. Who is Jesus? The light bringer. Winter was not just festive, it was confrontational. It was not only physically confrontational, the dark, cold winters back in the day, but also it was a time of deep reflection, inner work. How have you been in the community? Have you been a part of it? Have you been lazy? Have you had a moral imbalance? Have you been a good person with discipline and integrity with those that you love and your friends and people around you in your community? These were initiatory archetypes, not villains. And why? Why did the dark helpers exist? These dark helpers, this was a psychological initiation and shadow integration time of year. They were not evil, they were necessary. The shadow self, the Jungian archetype. Consequences of imbalance. If you live a life of imbalance, these things can happen to you. Natural law during scarcity and darkness. They taught children, connection to children, they taught children responsibility and restraint. They reinforced community ethics. They prepared society for hardship and survival. They balanced joy with accountability. And then, of course, we have the Christian suppression. So this is what happened during this time. There was so many parallels, so many connections to Yeshua and this time of year and the Lightbringer. But then the Christians started making some changes when they adopted this holiday. The dark helpers were demonized. The fear-based morality replaced initiation. Instead of these beings being these beings that are bringing up the darker parts of yourself so you can look and reflect on yourself so you can make a positive change, it became fear-based. If you don't do this, this will happen to you. Shadow archetypes were externalized as evil. The shadow was not integrated. Christianity, pre-Christianity Christmas, integration of the shadow. I mean, there's no better way to, there probably is, but there is one of the best ways, I would say, is the proper use of psychedelics, including mushrooms, which is probably the most. Amanita muscaria is definitely way stronger than psilocybin mushrooms, but it's that connection to that earth, that purging, that reset of the body, right? The shadow was not integrated. It was exiled. And then the wild hunt. More beings now, right? So we spoke here about the dark helpers. And then the wild hunt. Those were some people. We spoke about 3 or 4 individuals there. We got Krampus, Belsnickel, Handstrap, Percha, Frau Holly, right? And then there was also the wild hunt. The spirits who ride the winter sky. The spirits who ride the winter sky. Some leaders of the hunt. Odin, Norse and Germanic. Odin and Woden, Norse and Germanic. Hey, hey, I'm doing a webinar. Come here.
I'm
Hold on.
you
We gotta take a little pause. Come here. And it accepted the Evergreen Direct.
Gonna fast forward because he spent a little bit of time with his little guy. So we're gonna go through.
Pre-Christianity, Chris.
Let me check in with all of you, just see how this is going. Is this interesting to people? And maybe give thumbs ups. I'm going to go to gallery view. If this is interesting to people, give thumbs up. I'm seeing thumbs ups, and I'm some. It looks like a couple people are tuned out, but okay. All right, let me fast forward to after his little. I think it's his nephew comes charging in there. So let me go back to me, and let me go back to.
Zero. Who are the ancestors? When we disconnect from our ancestry, we can disconnect from the history and the story and the archetypes of what brought us into this world, what made us feel so human and connected, and the stories that literally created civilization and society as we know it. So when we say these words, that's why I have all these names of these different beings here, is that when we say them, it's like a connection to our collective ancestry and the shared story across humanity, across the world. We have Herne the Hunter, the Celtic and the British. We have Percha, Holda, Alpine regions. And the core themes, one of the core themes is liminal times between worlds, which is really interesting because if you think deep enough, not even too deep, the Santa story is about a liminal being that exists between worlds, bringing gifts from another realm. The return of the ancestors, the judgment and fate, death before rebirth, death before rebirth. And the connection to Santa, Odin rides an 8-legged horse. There's 8 reindeer, and Rudolph became a separate one that was actually added in 1939 by Coca-Cola. So there was actually only 8 reindeer up until 1939. And Odin rides an 8-legged horse. Children left offerings in boots. And now we have children was leaving offerings to Odin, to whatever being, in their boots so that they would be blessed for the new year, for the years to come, for the spring. And then it reverted to stockings, and then Santa putting gifts in the stocking. Who was these beings? These were sky-traveling winter visitors. And then Santa is the softened echo of a god who once ruled the storm. Oh man, teacher, you just gave away my next point, but the good one. You're on point. I was gonna do, well, actually, let's see anyway. We're gonna do a pop quiz in a moment. Christian reinterpretation. The wild hunt became demons. The sky gods became devils. The ancestral spirits became hellish apparitions. The spirits became hellish apparitions. But all the imagery survived disguised. Because even though this connection went further back before Rome, they took what they had saw as Rome and went the opposite direction. And as all of you probably know, humanity has a duality problem. The way to fix something is that we overcorrect by going on to the other side instead of finding the truth somewhere in between, in the middle. It's an overcorrection, right? Politics is a great example of that. Now, Krampus, he was the son of Hel, the Norse god of the underworld, where the spread of Christianity Krampus became associated with Christmas, despite efforts by the Catholic Church to ban him. Krampus is central in European folklore, particularly in alpine regions. He is often depicted as being horned, anthropomorphic creature, contrasting with the benevolent figure of Saint Nicholas. Contrast. In traditional folklore, Krampus is said to accompany Saint Nicholas during Christmas season. While Saint Nicholas rewards well-behaved, he punishes that. So it's like the duality of the two both walk together. Now, I love detours. And I couldn't do this presentation many years ago without thinking, is there a connection to the elemental world here? The elemental kingdom? Especially because when we look at the whole Middle Earth kind of reality, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, we look at the shamans and the wizards and the mushrooms at those times, the gnomes, the connection to gnomes, the reindeer, it has this very elemental feel to it. So who are these elemental beings? There are 4 categories of elementals, which are gnomes, undines, sylphs, and salamanders. These correspond to the 4 elements: earth, water, air, and fire. The concept of elementals draws from several much older traditions in mythology religion. Common threads can be found in folklore, animism, and anthropomorphism.
I'm going to actually move us forward a little bit because we've got all sorts of other things to do tonight. But here it is, just coming to Santa Claus.
Santa, guys, is not a lie. He is an ancient memory encoded in myth. An ancient memory coded in myth. Wow, isn't it amazing how this story for thousands of years ago still exists in such a predominant, beautiful level? Well, I guess that's relative, but still exists in such a strong way without the soul of it. We disconnected from that part, but the stories are still there. He is an ancient memory encoded in myth.
So as Christianity spread, psychedelic knowledge was suppressed, shamanism became pagan or demonic, altered states were condemned, and myths became children's stories. And what remains today: Christmas trees, elves, flying reindeer, a red and white Santa, and gifts from unseen realms. The Coca-Cola thing is that Coca-Cola literally did all sorts of ad campaigns around Santa Claus. And that's where the kind of chubby version of Santa Claus that we've all seen actually came out in about the 1930s as Coca-Cola ads. And they had Santa drinking Coke. I will talk briefly about the Council of Nicaea because that's something I know quite a bit about. Because what happened is the Romans in 321 AD, King Constantine became emperor of Rome. He moved the capital to Constantinople and really changed a lot of things. And that's where the books of the Bible were chosen, which ones would go in, which ones would stay out. And they, of course, really went with books that created you have to come to the church to get salvation. And they cut out the books that talked about Mary Magdalene as, his consort, about reincarnation, and they really kind of crafted. The other time that things really radically were changed was King James. Boy, he was a real dick. He was in the 1600s, and he was, again, really created this very puritanical view, and the King James Bible became even more puritanical. He also had a whole history of destroying anything pagan, anything that was outside of the structured, you need to come through the church to receive salvation. So there's a little bit of history of where we are today. And yes, Neil's show is available on YouTube. In fact, that's where I was playing it. So what I will do is I will put the link into the chat box right now. So you can watch his entire show. It's 2 hours long at this link. There we go. Ayana writes, I can hear my grandmother rolling over in her grave, hearing Scott say, King James was a real dick. Well, he was. You don't hear me say that too often, but anyway, all right. How's everybody doing? I hope we're having fun. We are going to do something a little bit unique right now. So today is Eden Amador's birthday. She wasn't able to be with us because she's actually with her family, her mom and her dad and her relatives, celebrating her birthday today and, of course, Christmas tomorrow. And she does not know that we're doing what we're about to do. So I'm going to play one of the wonderful songs that she has done, how she's doing this new album and, she plays her song and she dances to it. While we're watching Eden and her magnificent ability to just light us all up, I would love for you to all put into the chat box happy birthday, messages, anything around how Eden has impacted your life, what you appreciate about her. I will then copy all of your chat and I will send it to Eden tonight or tomorrow. So how does that sound? Does that sound like fun? Yeah? Okay. So here we go. I pulled up actually one of my favorite Eden videos. Whoops. Oh, let's go back to the beginning though. We don't need YouTube. So there we go. Let's try this again.
You're going to need original sound on, Scott, because it's cutting out the sound. Yeah.
Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, for some reason it's bringing up Apple TV. There we go. All right. And let me switch to original sound on. There we go. All right. Here we go with Eden. And I look forward to seeing what you all write in the chat box because we all love Eden.
Drink deeply from her well. She rises from the darkness to break an ancient spell. She hands us our hearts back, new stories to tell. She rises, she rises, she rises, she rises, she rises in you, she rises in me, she rises like the sun, and she rises like the sea. I feel
Fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for your beautiful comments putting in. Dia Therese, Tarina Joy, Carol Craig, Susan P., Dr. Laura, Tim, Don Drake, Gerald Anderson, the Wild Monk, Mars iPad, Lorna Sass, Susan Blomquist, Diara, Bridget. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. That's going to really, I know, make her day. She's really going to appreciate that a lot. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I did a pre-record last week with Uta and Natalie. You remember them. And they are such a gem. And they have put together, remember, Natalie does these incredible paintings, and then we meditate or do visualization to the painting. And so they, of course, are in Europe, so they can't be with us tonight because it's about 3 o'clock in the morning there right now. But only Frode, we love Frode, who shows up on our shows from Europe. So this is a really fun pre-record. We kind of catch up with what they've been doing. And then there's a beautiful visualization. And this lasts for about 50 minutes. And then we'll close out with a few comments from all of you and an Omashar song and some prayer with Tiara. So here we go with Natalie and Uta. I am so excited. I get to be with two of our favorite people. Many of you know Uta and Natalie. But for those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, or those of you who are new to the Awakening World, I'm going to let them share with you a little bit about their amazing story of how they came together, what they're creating, which is extraordinary. I've been deeply impacted by their work, and I know many of the people in our Zoom room have as well. And for those of you in the audience who have worked with Uta and Natalie, pop it in the chat box, okay? Of course, we're recording this because they're in Europe. So when I'm playing this on today, December 24th, they will probably be fast asleep because it's right in the middle of the night for them. So that's why we're pre-recording. And I'm wondering, Uta, if you'd maybe start by sharing a little bit about what you were telling me about your children and how that actually started this journey for you.
I will go into it very quickly because this is the beginning of my spiritual journey, actually. I was grown up with spiritual parents, but I lost a little bit my spiritual path when I went to the university. I was quite in my mind. Of course, it's part of the university, and I got quite early children. I have 3 children, and 2 of them, they have a DNA defect, and the medical world is saying that it's not easy for them to get old. And when I heard this truth, it doesn't felt like truth. There was no resonance in my heart. So I immediately knew that there is another way to heal them. And then I went deep into the healings, and during my journey, and also during the journey with Natalie, and we will explain it later, that we discovered a path of enlightenment. I really know in every cell of my body that DNA repatterning is possible.
Mm.
And I'm not attached to the health of my children anymore. So I know that I'm doing my best as a mother to prepare the way for them, and they will decide in a divine timing if they will choose for health and healing and holding. So this is my inspiration for my healing work. Yes.
I'm sure all the mothers in our audience and most of our people are parents can relate. So now then, how do you two come together?
Well, first of all, we were talking about December 24th and this time of energy of the Christ. And in December 2016, I received a revelation that I had to paint 144 paintings, and I had no idea what was going to happen, what I was going to paint, and all that. And so, but I listened. So I started painting and discovered that they were made in series and that they all had very specific energies and vibration. And then we are both part of a community, and we went for a retreat in Maui 3 years ago. And
Also in
there,
December.
yes, also in December. So it's for New Year. And we connected and we realized that we were going to get together to start this journey. And we thought that it was only going to be around the reproduction of the paintings or the selling of the original artwork. And then all of a sudden, December last year, our beloved Sanandaji told us that we needed to create a program to explain to people what is behind the paintings and what they are for. And so we followed his guidance, especially in when I started painting in early 2017. I was doing a course with Sanandaji. He hadn't met Shekinah Ma yet, and so he's been on my painting journey, holding space for me since inception.
Wow. That's wonderful to know. And of course, many of our audience members love Sanandaji and Shekinah Ma. So it's beautiful to have that connection. And of course, we had you on the show before, I think with kind of your first big initial painting, and you did a wonderful experience that so many people got a lot out of. And I know that some of them in the audience right now, and I'll, of course, we're pre-recording this, so when I do see the chat, I'll share that with the audience. So tell us now about this year, since last December, when you kind of revved this up in a bigger way, and now you're creating a whole academy and a whole series of programs. And we'll take a look at your website and all that a little bit later, but just tell us a little bit about the history of it. And then I believe you're going to lead us on a meditation.
It's so amazing when you follow your heart and you step into your soul purpose, into your soul desire. Everything unfolds organically and the guidance is very strong. So what Natalie and me we are doing is following the guidance step by step. We only get the next step and we walk this path. And so we created a lot of programs in only 1 year. And if you would say to me 1 year ago that we will create all of these products, I would say, no, that's not possible. But when you are on this journey and you are following the guidance, there is so much magic in the container, and everything unfolds naturally and in flow if you're doing the good things, if you're following your heart. And the year before, when we tried to sell the paintings, we felt there's something missing. The flow was not like we are used to flow. So we are very happy that we co-created now together with the masters. And around each painting, we have a teaching, we have an activation, and we have an healing. And this all together in a series is such a profound energy shift, what we see in our students, that is amazing. And I feel very blessed and grateful for all that we have done and we are allowed to do for others, for the world.
Beautiful. Natalie, anything you want to add to that?
Yes, I think most importantly, we're having fun.
Yes. You know, that's so true. You know, in past times, people that had a mission, especially if it had a spiritual or religious connotation, could get very serious and even dogmatic about their mission. And I think we're replacing dogmatic religion with joyful spiritual expression.
Yes,
Yes.
and it is just doing what you need to do every day. And it happens organically. You don't have to think about it. Everything comes in and you just do what you need to do. And as Uta said, luckily, if you had told me I was going to do all that with Uta, I would have told you it's going to take ages. and and it took time, but we're dedicated. When we need to work, we do work, and we have a German side. Even if in me you don't see it too much. But my mother is Swiss German, so we very structured, and we have yeah, we're focused.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of nice things. We travel a lot together.
Mm.
So this year we had the calling to go to Manchester. We went to Manchester and did a personal retreat, very, very profound,
Manchester or Mount Shasta?
Mount Shasta.
Mount
Yes.
Shasta. Okay.
in
Yes.
California.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it
And
well.
we went to France. We went to France to the Stargate Montségur.
Oh, you did. Wonderful.
Yes. And we did some activations there. We got a lot of downloads there. And just a few weeks ago, we went to Glastonbury, to Avebury, and to Stonehenge.
Oh,
And went there to the Stargate, of course, but also to other very energetic, important signs. And Natalie received the next 13 paintings. So
wow.
we follow our intuition, not knowing what is there, why we are going there. We have an idea. It's all about spirituality and remembrance of our old lifetimes and gifts.
Mm.
And yeah, now Natalie received the next series of the painting.
Yeah, because I have another 33 to go before I finish
Oh my.
this collection of 144. And I thought I was going to take ages. And I was all surprised when all of a sudden they started coming in Avebury. I was very surprised. I don't know when I'll be able to draw them, because between, the moment where the energy starts activating, I have to embody it. And once I embody it, then I can start painting it. So sometimes time for the masters is irrelevant. So I don't know when I will be painting them, but they started coming in. And it is a council of ascension. I was very surprised, but yes, 12.
I'm so touched by where you've been. And I just have to say, since you mentioned Avebury, I've been to that area, Southern England, many times for crop circle season. And I've come to believe that the tourists go to Stonehenge, but the big power is in Avebury.
I confirm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And before my wife passed away, there's in Avebury, there's this little Airbnb. It's only got two rooms that went up. We stayed there and then we'd walk out in the morning and hang out with the stones. And literally from that space, you could walk right to where the stone circle is. And yeah, so you bring back that wonderful memory for me. And of
I'm very
course,
happy.
that's where you would get the download that you received. That's amazing.
Of course.
For all of our friends watching in the chat box, put if you've been to Glastonbury, if you've been to Avebury, um, and any of the experiences you've had. So, wow. So, are we going to be seeing one of your new paintings, or is it the one behind you, perhaps, during the meditation?
The one behind we're going to be working, it's one of the Ascended Masters.
Okay.
The name of this painting is Sananda. Sananda, for those that don't know, is the higher self of Jesus Christ. So it holds all the encodements for the opening of the heart.
Mm.
And so since we are Christmas Eve, then we thought it was most appropriate to bring in Sananda, and
Oh.
Sananda ji will be very happy.
Yeah,
Because he
absolutely.
did start all this, so he gets to be honored also.
I'll send him this recording so that he can watch
You're
it.
too sweet.
Yeah, yeah,
We
absolutely.
love them so much.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Well, shall we get started?
Yes,
Yeah,
with
All right,
pleasure.
I'm going to exit, but I will be right here watching and participating.
you
And
want to start with the meditation, right?
Meditation. Yes, yes.
Good.
Mhm.
Do we have some music, Scott?
I have not lined up music. If you have music that you want to play, I can pause for a moment if you need time to set that up.
Hmm. We can do it also without music.
Okay.
I have a music, but
Put the music.
yeah,
I'm gonna hide myself because it's better if they only see the painting.
Okay, and I'm going to spotlight the painting then.
but I
Yes,
think
that's
I can't play the music and the audience will hear it, huh?
No, you can. You can. Just make sure you put on I'll tell you if we're hearing it okay. You can play music and speak over it. If you but it's if you have it behind you.
Mhm.
And while she's getting set up, I invite everybody just to start looking at this exquisite, beautiful painting. Wow. And it is just like, I love all the different hearts within the hearts within the hearts within the hearts. And we hear the music perfectly, Uda.
Ah, perfect. I can't hear it, but I'm happy that you hear it.
We do hear it. You could raise the music volume just a little bit.
Give me a second.
That's right. That's about right.
Okay.
perfect.
Wonderful, beloveds. I will start the meditation and I ask you to close softly your eyes. It's important to drop your mind into your heart space. Now it's time to listen into your heart, to open up all your inner senses. Imagine that there is a flame inside of your heart. And let's ignite this flame. Golden light is all around your heart. Your heart even open more and more, like a lotus flower. Breathe into your heart space. And at the same time, we activate your vertical power column of light. We have to activate your antennas. Your light channel is going from your crown to your root. And we open up the crown and extend our light channel into the stars, into the sun, and we go deeper into the central sun, the source of all creation. We invite you to connect with the Christ consciousness and breathe this energy into your crown chakra, downwards into your heart. Feel the codes dropping down into your body, into your heart. And now it's important that you are rooted and connected to the core of Mother Gaia. So we follow our light channel into the root chakra. We go downwards through your earth star, just beneath your feet. Go through all the different layers of Mother Gaia into the crystalline iron nickel core, this magnetic core of Mother Gaia. Bring in the light codes from the Christ consciousness into the core of Mother Gaia. And feel at the same time the gratitude and the love coming from the heart of Mother Gaia. Breathe this energy into your system, into your heart space.
And open your eyes. Look at the sacred code that is in front of you. And bring the frequency through the eyes and through your third eye into your pineal gland, in the middle of your brain. Allow the glyphs, the codes, the colors, the rays, the frequency to pour through your eyes and your third eye, activating your pineal gland as you claim your divinity. Breathe it in as we call in Master Sananda, activating the divine remembrance. And allow the frequencies of this code to illuminate and activate your divine column of light all the way into the core of Mother Earth. As you reprogram your body, your organs, your cells, every layer of your being, feel the warmth of the golden radiance of this pink ray. Feel the presence of Master Sananda. As he approaches your field with infinite tenderness, compassion, and love. He brings with him the truth that cannot be taken, altered, or diminished. He activates this truth within you, inviting you to surrender to your light within. Please close your eyes and center yourself. See, feel, perceive the light within. And allow all resistances to fall away. Dissolving the tightness of your mind, of your body, and your heart. Feel your inner light expanding from your heart and your physical heart, like the sun, illuminating all shadows with compassion. Allow yourself to open up to what has always been yours. And observe your pillar of pure golden light descending through your spine. Allow it to move through your hips, your legs, and your feet. Through all the layers of the earth, deep into the crystalline heart of the earth. Allow the false stories to dissolve. Stories from your childhood, from past lives, from old programming. Release, beloveds, release. See, feel, and perceive that you are becoming a bridge through the loving compassion of Master Sananda. Heaven is flowing through the earth, and the earth is rising into heaven. Anchoring your divinity simply by being here. Feel your noble, radiant heart expanding. Allow the heart of the divine human to radiate all around you. Activating the sacred essence of your soul across lifetimes. Becoming steady, wise, pure. Your noble heart is your compass. Trust it now. Feel the brush of the angelic wings around you start to move. Feel the angels in your energetic field. As legions of light gather, they come because you remember. They honor you. They protect you. They surround you with frequencies of grace. Allow this truth to rewrite your inner landscape of your mind. Feel this energy enter your body. A deep remembrance that you deserve love. You deserve peace. You deserve connection. You deserve the blessings. There is nothing to earn. Divinity is your birthright. Allow your cells to lighten up like the stars. Allow your soul to expand into its full radiance. As you remember, you are divine. You are eternal. You are light returning to light. And allow Master Sananda to place a golden symbol in your heart. This symbolizes the seal of remembrance. Anchor, receive, illuminate. And through the expansive expression of your heart, anchor love profoundly in the center of your heart. So you may shine. Love all around you. Breathe and allow. Observing your heart radiating like the sun. Allowing bubbles of joy, tears of remembrance. Open your hearts. And as you open your awareness to your body, you carry this activation, this remembrance, this truth. You are birthed from light. Walk with light. Return to light. As the light lives within you now, fully awakened. And so it is. Slowly come back, beloveds. Come back into your body, to the present moment. Allowing love to be the answer to all.
Mm.
Mhm.
Wow.
You can start moving your body as we come back here in the now. Thank you, Master Sananda. Thank you, Sananda ji.
That
So,
was amazing. I mean, I'm going to play that a lot. I start my morning with meditations, and this is definitely going to be my new big one to start the day with. Hey everybody, this is the live me, just quite similar to that me. Yeah, so I just want to kind of drop in and see how people's experiences have been. So maybe take a look and read what's going on in the chat box. Well, thank you, Carol, for putting that in there. And what a wonderful picture of Carol. How much fun. Yay. Yeah, it is a really beautiful meditation, isn't it? And I've made a edit of it, or I should say Connie and Andrews made an edit for us, which you'll find in our Global Peace Tribe YouTube channel. And, you know, everybody, please remember that I put a lot of energy into that YouTube channel. It's got all of our shows. Plus, it also has what I call dynamic segments, the dynamic segments playlist. So I want to encourage everybody to access your favorite shows or favorite moments. Yeah. Dr. Laura says that she goes to that channel all the time. Thank you, Dr. Laura. This painting would be nice on the roof of our Capitol dome, right? And then joy feels peaceful and centered after the meditation. Kill Craig feeling very happy. Beautiful. Susan Blomquist writes, a beautiful meditation, bringing us to new heights. Thank you for all you bring to us. Dr. Laura writes, Scott, please thank Uta and Natalie for that stunning activation. I had a hard time keeping my eyes open, but the painting is so rich with symbolism that it is deeply nourishing. Thank you. Yeah, imagine that she's doing 144 paintings like that. Boy, talk about dedication and devotion. Absolutely incredible. We're going to be doing a little bit of promotion in the future. Uta and Natalie are planning some retreats, and they also are planning a beautiful series of events, which I'll share a little bit more about. But I think it's about time for us. Let's actually maybe do the prayer and then Om Shar song, because we're all in kind of a soft space. So let's do that. Desiree is with her family today, not available with us. So I'm turning things over to Diara.
Keeping us in this beautiful space from the holy, holy hole that Omashar brought us into, flowing through the dynamic brilliance of Neil's research and his presentation, expanding our consciousness, our awareness of the sacred beginnings and the motions and movements. And then into this beautiful space of this activation, this cellular activation. we're sending this love and this level of consciousness out to the entire planet and beyond, that all those receive what they're capable of receiving, what they're willing to receive, known or unknown. Maybe they feel it like a beautiful breeze or light coming into a dark room. We share the love and the knowing that we get to experience together here with the entire collective and beyond. And indeed, so blessed are we. And we offer solace and comfort of the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual to all those needing that rise that Eden brings to us. And may those who are suffering, who are hungry, thirsty, needing warmth, shelter, and protection, may they receive maximum divine grace and blessings. May they be aware of hope. May they hold on to their faith, and may the universe conspire to bring to them what is needed for all of us. Whether it's love or food or joy or play or work, all of it. And during these sacred times when so many are celebrating festivals of light, festivals of darkness, may all beings be able to express their beliefs in ways that are authentic to themselves and leave room for others to have their authenticity as well. May we learn as human beings how to do that, how to hold space for all of it, for all of us. We know this can be done. Maximum grace and blessings on this eve. And so much gratitude for our family, this beautiful global peace tribe. Maximum blessings and grace to you, Scott, to Omashar. We give great thanks and say, so it is.
Yeah. Amishar, anything you'd like to add into the prayer circle?
Gratitude to us all, and let us see this season for what it truly is. It's the Christ light returning and shining through the hearts of us all. And Santa is real. I knew that. And someone used to tell me that Jesus is a mushroom, and now I know why.
There you go.
So, Merry Christmas to everybody, and the spirit of this time is what truly matters. And the fact that we are together gathering, you know, that which we're being entertained by, let's say, is not so important as that we are gathering together, and the field that we have created through this amazing global peace tribe. So thank you. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Diara. Thank you, everybody who's on this call, who we've grown to love and to know. And it's amazing how 4 or 5 years it has taken us to get to know each other more deeply, because we just get to know each other in micro doses. And thank you for enriching my life. I do church 2 or 3 times a week, and it's the Awakening World.
It has become our church, absolutely.
Really has.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a slightly personal prayer just for people to hold the vision. Tomorrow, Kristen is flying out from New York to Reno. And so maximum grace for her travel. She flies actually near you. I'm sure she flies from New York to Colorado to Denver, then from Denver to Reno. So blessings for maximum grace and ease for her travel. And I've got to drive up over Donner Pass, which gets snowed in, to pick her up. So may there be ease. Right now, there's a pretty big snowstorm. It's supposed to lighten up just in time for me, hopefully, to get up there, pick her up, and bring her back. So hold that vision for us, that it all goes smoothly. And then on Friday night, we're having a birthday party for any of you that are in the Bay Area. You're all welcome. Piper's coming. Hallelujah. Anasuya is coming. Of course, Kristen and I will be there. Katrina is hosting a little dinner party on Friday night. And there's a possibility Diara might make it down. So, and any of you in the Bay Area, you're all welcome to join us. If you need details, just send me a text message. All right. That's the end of the announcements for now. And we're going to close out in the most wonderful way. And, I want to publicly make an apology. I know many of you were on the show Monday night, and it was a great show. Those of you who missed it, we had a special edition of Making Contact, and it was really hearing fascinating stories from people who have had profound experiences with non-human intelligence, ETs, angels. It was really fascinating. And Alan kept saying, we got to keep it to 2 hours. You got to keep it to 2 hours. We started the show at 5 o'clock early. And I figured, well, if he wants to keep it to 2 hours, okay, I can schedule a client at 8 o'clock. Well, of course, the show ended up going on and on and on. And we were just ready to close it up and go to Omashore for a closing song when Alan said, oh, I got to show this little video of Steven Spielberg, which opened up the rabbit hole to all of that. And at literally 7:58, I said, I'm sorry, guys, we got to end this. And we didn't get our closing song from Omashore. The next morning I woke up and the first thing I thought was, oh my God, I failed Omashore because he prepares these amazing songs for us. So I want to publicly, again, apologize to you, brother. Even though you already had forgiven me, I wanted you to know.
You were forgiven before you were born, brother. But thank you. The truth is, not the truth. We get to see more and more of the reality of who we are as human beings through our interactions. And our beloved Awakening World family is getting to see so much of what's behind the scenes because we're family, and who cares? It's we're here warts and all, even though we don't do warts anymore because no one licks the toad. They just go straight for the Amanita mascara. And so thank you anyway. I appreciate you. I love you so much, and I know you're gonna have a wonderful birthday today. And we also shared earlier that my grandmother, my mother's birthday is 25th of December. So yes, indeed. And this song that I'm going to sing now, I did not write it, but we all know it. And here it is. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow.
a shining star upon the highest bough. And have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
Absolutely my favorite rendition ever of that song. Hearing it from beloved Omashar and seeing some of your faces, absolutely a wonderful, wonderful kick start to Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. We will be back on Saturday night with co-host Kristen Hoffman sitting by my side right here. Good Lord granting. And have a wonderful few days, and we'll look forward to seeing all of you on Saturday night. And we've got some fun things planned for that evening as well. Take care, everybody.